getting sick. I'll get this eventually. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We've got another cool video in store for you guys today. So in this video, I'm going to be going over my 2023 goals for the year. We're going to talk about last year's goals, and I'm going to show you guys around the shop. Alright, so last year's goals, I didn't make a whole bunch of them. At least I didn't document it, right? So in my last year's video, I went over like my top 10 catches, and at the very end of that video, which will be linked in the description of this video, I go over a couple goals. Goal number one for last year would be just to simply break out of my comfort zone. It's easier said than done. A lot of anglers get stuck in a rut. We know 3 or 4 baits really well. We throw them every trip, but we don't really grow. We don't really expand our skill sets. So that's one of the things I wanted to do in 2022. The only other goal I made for last year is really simple. It's to catch fish on baits that I paint right here in this bait lab. So that's another reason why I want to kind of show you guys around my workspace. So goal number one for 2022, me just simply breaking out of my comfort zone. I did it. I got away from the chatterbait, man. In 2021, I threw the chatterbait almost every trip down the river, and I caught some decent fish on it. I caught a lot of fish, caught a lot of big fish. So that's one of those baits that is my confidence bait. I mean, it was really, really hard for me to put that bait down, but I did. I started throwing more soft plastics. I started throwing more jigs. I especially started throwing a lot more crankbaits. So yeah, smash that goal. Good. Moving on to goal number two. Goal number two for 2022 was really simple. Just catch more fish on a lot of the baits I painted. And I was looking through a lot of my footage that I did over this year, and almost every video that I put out has catches on it with baits that I made in some way, shape, or form. For you guys that don't know, I do a lot of airbrushing, make a lot of soft plastics. I've been dabbling into hand carving my own lures. But yeah, almost every single freaking video has a fish on it that I caught with a bait that I made. Smash that goal, right? So the goals for 2023 are a little bit more complicated and a little bit harder to achieve. So let's go over that right now. Awesome jellyfish transition. So the first goal for 2023 is going to be kind of a two-part goal. First part's easy, second part, not so much. Ideally, I want to make really good content for you guys. I take a lot of pride in the videos that I do, so I'm hoping that it's showing through in the videos that I do. So part A to goal number one is just to simply make better content. Part two would be to not make the local anglers around my area upset, because they get upset about some spot burning. If you guys don't know what spot burning is, I could go into a whole long story about YouTubers, social media, and spot burning and things like that. So goal number two, for 2023 would be to link up with more people, to learn more techniques, and fish more places. I already got a lot of that stuff in the books. I got a lot of trips planned, and I got a lot of cool, exciting videos coming down the pipeline for you guys. And to top that off, guys, what I really want to do is somebody takes me out for a fishing trip or whatever. We smash some fish, and I'm just like, boom, here's a whole bunch of baits that I made. That would be ideal, but I will say that I cannot go fishing with everybody, and I just can't give my baits away to everybody. So I got to be really selective and who I choose and who actually wants to go fishing with me. So hopefully I could pick up some new stuff and bring some more cool videos to this channel. So goal number 3 for this year is to get better at airbrushing. Like, it is really hard. It takes a lot of finesse, and being that I'm red-green colorblind, yeah, airbrushing is tough. But I'm going to get better at it. I've been working on a lot of cool stuff, and I'll show you guys this stuff later and give you the backstory of why I'm painting these baits, and because they're really, really off the wall. It's going to be for another video. Goal number 4 is going to be probably the toughest of all these goals so far. Maybe second toughest. I don't know. You guys be the judge. Let me know in the comments below which one of these goals for 2023 is probably going to be the most difficult for me to achieve. Goal number 4 would be to carve some bigger swim baits. And I want to be able to replicate them. I'm talking about making one really good hand-carved master and then making a mold of that and then replicating it from there. And hopefully I get good at it, I get consistent at it, I start catching some fish on them, and then who knows, maybe you guys want to buy some. I don't know. Time will tell. That's like a 5-year goal for me, but nevertheless, I think it's important to have your goals documented just so you can kind of be held accountable for things you said you're going to try to achieve. Goal number 5. Goal number 5. This might be the hardest one. I want to catch a personal best fish on a bait that I hand carved and actually made a master mold out of. So, I don't know, man. I'm a little bit nervous on that because it takes a really long time to like do a lot of testing on these baits, make sure they float right, make sure they sink at an acceptable level, make sure they sink level all the way down. I got some trial and error to do with different hooks, different split rings. I got a ton to prepare for that one. So that might take a long time. But yeah, that's it. Those are my 5 goals for this year. And I'm really hoping that I could at least achieve, we'll say 90% of them. I think I'm going to achieve all of them, and I think I'm going to smash them in probably 3 months. Because honestly, I'm already working on that stuff here. That's what the winter is for me as a bait maker. Kind of prepare for the next year. Hopefully catch some giants on some baits I make. I think you guys heard enough from me. I think I'm going to show you around the shop. Granted, please don't hate on me. It's not clean, and the reason for that is because it's never clean. I'm not going to try and clean it all up, make it look nice and fancy for you guys. What I want to do is kind of give you a realistic picture of what my bait lab looks like pretty much all day, every day. No gravity transition. That was close. I forgot this was here. Oops, I about wrecked it. So behind me, I got my airbrushing station. So my buddy Dustin Barnes painted these jerk baits, and I painted these glide baits for a gentleman down in Virginia. I'm really looking forward to going down there on the James River, targeting some big smallmouth. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe I could catch a PB down there. I just have a whole bunch of random baits laying around. Like I got this crappie one. I've only painted the crappie pattern twice, and both times I butchered it. I got a deep diver down here. Check that dude out. But here's my paint station. I used to have all my paints on a shelf way over there, but that's too far to travel, so I just set everything down right here. I got a little filter over here. I got a fan that sucks all the really bad paint fumes out. I got some rings with some scaling patterns over here. My little clippy clip. This little thing right here is a cell phone clip, and I'm going to use it a lot more this year. I'm going to start getting into making some YouTube shorts over the bait making stuff, bait painting, plastic pouring, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to start doing more shorts, so that's what I got that for. Jointed wake bait. I made the split rings too big, and now I can't put hooks on it to test it. I put all these rings backwards. Got my little display thing right here, so I could get cool pictures uploaded to Instagram of baits like that rotating around. Watch. See how cool that thing is? I could do zoomies like this. Boom. But yeah, I could do cool little product shots like that. So yeah. What I got behind me is some crazy freaking colored jerk baits that I'm going to use to target some saw guy this winter. That's probably going to be a video coming out here within the next month or two. I don't know. Depends on how long it takes me to catch fish on these crazy colored jerk baits. I just went off the wall with painting these things, and I think some of them came out okay. Some of them look garbage, but I don't care. I'm going to throw literally all of them and see which one works best for, you know, river saw guy and stuff. I got my microwave right here to heat up my soft plastics. I got a fan right there to blow out the poisonous fumes. But don't worry guys, I don't solely rely on this thing. I got a filter mask thing over that way. Oh yeah, Sugar Tick Custom Lures. That's where I get all these cool blanks from. What have I been listening to? Those are the bands. If you guys like metal, check out those bands. Alright, the next thing, I got my hot plate, and yes, it's a mess. This is what I put my aluminum molds on right here. And I get them heated up so I could layer the plastic when doing laminates. Next we got a compressor and a degassing chamber. So you heat up the plastic and then you put it in here and then you lock these vents, you turn it on, and then this thing right here, it removes all the air from your soft plastics so it doesn't show up in the final product. The next area in the station, probably one of my favorites. It's where I hang up all my soft plastics. The other cool thing on this wall is I have a lot of my bigger swim baits. I'm really stoked to try this bait right here. The Arma joint. Look at that thing. This thing is massive. Big old mag draft. We got Shine Glide and some ugly cheap swim bait. We got some Matt Lures swim baits over here. Look at the detail in this. That hammertail shad in the background is sweet too. Next we got some soft plastic swim baits. Got some Citizens. Those are usually pretty hard to get. You got to get them at a certain time or you don't get them at all. Got some Jinko booty shakers. This is a bait I'm really looking forward to doing a video on. This is the I'm a Floating 125. This is a glide fluke. I believe it's what it's called. Tell me that ain't going to catch some river smallmouth. On this wall, I got some frogs, got some cool little swim baits, more swim baits, flukes, got some Senkos, shaky head worms, ribbon tail worms, got some crawdads over here for punching, more crawdads. If you're not noticing a theme by now, I like crawdad baits. This is just a drawer with a whole bunch of stuff. I got some buzz bait stuff, I got files, boom boom, sanding paper. That's the graveyard. These are all my failed paint jobs. Rest in peace, guys. Over here, I got some glitters for my soft plastics. Got some powder pigments for my soft plastics as well. More glitters. Boom. Yeah. This area right here is where I draw my designs at. I make my stencils. And then I do my carving. So this is what I'm currently working on. I just started that little project yesterday. And then I have a whole crap load of different colors from Dead On Plastics that I use for my soft plastics. I also got some stuff from Lure Works over there. This area right here is where I do a lot of my lead stuff. You know, I got my lead pot over here, and then I got a whole bunch of my molds. I can make jigs out of these molds. I can make chatterbaits out of these molds. I can do a whole bunch of different stuff with these molds. And I got some new molds too. This one is an umbrella rig. I want to get into throwing A-rigs way more often, especially on bigger lakes like Dale Hollow Lake. It's one of the reasons I got this. I got this round head jig mold because you could never have enough of these. This is going to be for finesse jig style stuff for smallmouth bass in small creeks and rivers. So this is going to make some really killer jigs. Got a whole bunch of hooks over here from Do It Molds. There's my A-rig harness right there. Whole bunch of different hooks, different size split rings, different size treble hooks. This is just a cheapo drill press from Harbor Freight. I got this for drilling holes into the baits that I'm carving, like the eye sockets. All right, I think there's like one more thing to show you guys, then we'll wrap this thing up and do the outro and get you guys on your way. The last station is my workbench. I mean, all of these things behind me are workbenches in one way, shape, or form. But this one over here is more so for carving baits and sanding them and things like that. All right, here's my belt sander that I got, again, from Harbor Freight. I get all my tools from Harbor Freight because I'm a cheapskate, whatever you want to call it. But the reason for this specifically, compared to my other one, which I'll show you later, is it has a little bit of play in here. And what you could do is you could round the top of your baits. So this thing should make my life a lot easier when it comes to sanding. Alright, everybody needs a vise. Got some chisels, some files. Over here we got a belt sander. This one has a disc sander on it as well. Then we got this scroll saw right here. It's not the saw I want, but it's the saw I deserve. Again, this is a cheap saw, but it does the trick. Alright, the last thing I want to show you guys, and this is the most important thing. I'm kidding, it's not important at all. This is just a random pile of baits. Let me know in the comments below if you also have a random pile of baits on your workbench. So I hope you guys liked the little tour of my bait lab. I don't know why I'm talking with my hands. I've been told that if somebody tied my hands behind my back, I wouldn't be able to talk. Not true. I'm doing it now. Anyway, so I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the tour of my bait lab. That being said, I want to challenge you guys to make some goals for yourselves, whether it be to get into fishing for different species that you're not familiar with, or pick up a whole bunch of different baits that you have no idea how to use. I want you guys to challenge yourself, because if you don't, you're going to stagnate. And if you're going to stagnate, you're going to get really bored with fishing. Don't get bored with fishing. Challenge yourself. So there's one more thing I want to talk about. I want to do a giveaway. Since I'm so close to finally getting that 1,000 subscriber mark, I want to do a giveaway. I don't know what I'm going to give away. I just know it's going to be badass. So make sure you guys subscribe and stay tuned for that. We'll catch you on the next one. We are super close to getting 1,000 subscribers. Then we have this travesty of a nasty excess water from all my cleaning out my airbrush. That's nasty. It stinks too. Fish that you catch on. Words are so hard for me today. Throw a bait caster reel. Voice went really high up there. Bait caster reel. Shut. Boom, boom, boom. Thumbs up. That was stupid. I should edit that out. Well, guys, I hope. God, I'm sick.